Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Pink Sock Podcast. And you're probably wondering who this lovely
Alright.
Canadian woman is next to me.
Hey,
Um,
how's it
I,
going?
we're probably live a little late on the WTHC radio, but shout out to WTHC radio. They are allowing us to partner and be on their station. So shout out. Hopefully you don't regret it. I mean, I am a fucked up individual, so who knows? We are joined today by, of course, Pink Monarch, who is of WTHC Radio. You just now recently became a DJ over there, so I'm proud of you for that.
Thanks.
No
Yeah,
problem.
I'm DJing right now.
Your first order of business is bringing Pink Sock Podcast on. Hopefully, you don't get fired for that. I'm just kidding.
Right?
I fucking love you, Pink. You're amazing. But we are joined today by a friend of mine. His name is Jessie Norris. No relation to Chuck, as far as I know. I can ask him. But he's of the band Nothing But Scars. And you know how them death metal bands are with their logos. You can't fucking read them. You know, when I first saw his logo, I thought it said Nothing But SARS. I thought like none of them in that band could breathe. Like I thought they had breathing issues. But it's Nothing But Scars.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yes, I know we look alike, but I'm not him. But we are joined by none other than Jessie. I thought it was Jessie Norris, but it's Jessie NBS today. Jessie of Nothing But Scars. How are you doing, brother?
I'm all right.
That's good. All right. So, I'm doing good. Let's do this.
Double vagina.
Double vagina all the way across the sky is what I've been told. So, how did Nothing But Scars become a thing? Because I've known you for a while, and as far as I've known you, you've done this band. Like, how old is this band? Like 40 years old, something like that? Older than you?
I mean, it might be really. No, I've been like dedicated to this project for probably, I want to say like the last 4 or 5 years solid. I mean, given I've been in a couple other bands throughout the process of trying to do this, but like it's nothing that like really stuck.
Mm.
With this, like it was more or less I just had something that I truly felt like I guess morally obligated to do. Speak on like mental health, personal struggles, all that yada yada yada, but still be able to crank out like good, tasty, heavy music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. And your music is fucking. You send me lyrics sometimes saying, should I use this? Is it too much? I'm like, no, dude, reach for the soul. Because if you look at bands like Korn, they never let back, man. They're talking about all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah, like, well, that one that I sent you the other day, like I had to send to the owner of the label and be like, hey, is this too far? And he was like, go farther. And I'm like,
How do I go further than that, man? So you guys just introduced a friend of mine. We collaborate on podcasts and shit. Matt Cooper. How's that music going?
It's going. It's a slow process. He's a busy man. We're all busy, all conflicting schedules. Being an adult sucks. You know how it is.
Yeah, it does, man. I get it because, like, I can only imagine being in the.
Sucks.
I can only imagine being in the metal side, dude. Because I'm in music. I'm working on music right now with my buddy Jag. Shout out to Jag the Apostle of Calligraphy. Me and him and the other guys at Calligraphy are working on music. What is up, Katie, Nelly, Art? I love that woman, Katie, and also Zach Wright. So the audio from the StreamYard isn't porting out, so Pink is just talking to herself on the radio right now, which is fine. which is fine. So, bro,
It's like maybe I should take you guys off headset.
Yeah. What was the first band you did though, bro? Was you always the death metal side of things, or was you like a pop artist at first? Like I don't know.
Believe it or not, obviously I'm not a drummer, but believe it or not, what got me into music initially, and then I'll tell you what my first band was. What got me into music initially was like the Beatles and shit like that. and
shit.
I wanted to play drums, but I do not have the freedom of four limbs. It's just random fucking noise whenever I try to play drums. Like I understand how to play, I physically cannot. And then so after that, like it's just years and years of guitar and bass guitar, and then eventually I ended up joining a punk band, and it wasn't remotely metal. Like at times, like punk music's kind of thrashy, but like that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, that's where thrash metal derived from, actually, is punk rock. Most people don't realize that.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, like it was fun. Like it's still one of my guilty pleasures. I still like playing punk on bass, even though like I don't really enjoy playing strings much anymore. But like it's fun, it's groovy, you know what I mean? You get to move around and shit.
What style of punk are you referring to? Because there's now, like with metal, there's various forms. Like when I think punk rock, I think of like the Misfits, of course, which is like more of a
Yeah, it would have been like more grungy pop, like more grungy pop punk.
depending on what era. The Misfits early days could have been classified as hardcore horror punk, and then when they got Michael Graves, they're more of a pop.
Yeah.
Which is weird because bands like that, man, the guy that wrote everything didn't even stay in the band.
It was really weird because like the drummer that we had planned for us, like he was a metal drummer through and through. And then like the guitar player that we had, like his two favorite bands was fucking Nirvana and Green Day. So like, and then like you have me like who comes from like, all right, well like I grew up on like the Beatles, Leonard Skinner, but like my playlist is like Mudvayne, Carnifex, Pantera, fucking Cattle Decapitation, crazy shit. And it was like a weird blend that just worked. And
Bro.
like we were all at that point so young, like it was just we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Like we wrote a couple of songs together, did a couple of things, and then like kind of fizzled the fuck out.
Yeah, like Zach Wright said in the chat, NoFX is what he thinks of when you think of punk. Well, when I think of punk, growing up, I was always old school, bro. Like I would respect and listen to older music like he did with the Beatles. When I think punk rock, like the attitude, the music, all of that, I think of the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
They were that band that came in, released one album, said fuck the industry, and left. And that's kind of where I'm at, bro. Like, the industry is great and all, but the Pistols, bro, did you see what they did for the Rock Hall?
No, I didn't actually.
They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they no-showed. And instead, they had somebody read a letter that they wrote. And the letter I actually have right here. Let me find it real quick. The letter is fucking hilarious. And this is the most Sex Pistols thing I have ever read.
Don't you tell me they trolled the shit out of him?
They did. It says, let me get real close because it's kind of small. This is quoted straight from the Sex Pistols. Next to the Sex Pistols, rock and roll in that Hall of Fame is a piss stain. Your museum is urine and wine. We're not coming, and we're not your monkeys. And so what? Fame at $25,000 if we paid for a table, or $15,000 to speak up to to have a place up at the gallery, goes to a non-profit organization selling a load of old famous congratulations. If you voted for us, hope you noted your reasons. You're anonymous as judges, and you're still music industry people, and we're not coming. You're not paying attention. Outright, the shit stain is a real... No, sorry. Outside that shit stain is a real Sex Pistol.
Oh, fuck.
And they had somebody who was in charge of the Rock Hall that had to read that.
Oh my god.
Well, they already got inducted, so they can't turn their back now, bro. That's some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Well, what people don't realize, right?
about like
Called them.
wanting from band stuff just to be inducted. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a big fan of them, but that's why Kiss said "fuck you" like 4 or 5 different times now.
Yeah, like I love that attitude because it's gotten to the point now where we don't really need an industry. We got streaming platforms. Anyone can go on Spotify, bro. All you got to do is get an account through, I forget what it is now. You'll have to look it up. But you can get an account through this website, pay like $5 a year and have all your shit put there for you.
DistroKid.
DistroKid. There's another one too. But yeah, like the reason why
what you're talking about though.
There's a lot of great record companies out there that are independent that allow you to own the rights to your shit. I'm not saying fuck them all, but fuck the ones that own you pretty much. Like it's your music, bro. Like it should be you own it. They distribute it. They shouldn't tell you what to do with your art.
Through my experiences, that's a real quick shout out Total Deathcore Records because they have been nothing but a major help to me throughout this entire process and kind of sought me out in all honesty because like it was weird. I kind of shot my shot out of like thousands of people that was commenting on a post to get on a compilation album and then ended up networking with the CEO of the label and he was like, "So what am I signing you?" And I was like, it's like, let me get back to you on that. And then I kind of creeped and like stalked every band that was ever on their roster and like contacted people that I knew from every band that was on their roster. And I was like, "So how was your?" And they was like, "Oh, I mean, obviously, like there was a couple things that could have been better, but it was all great." And I was like, "Awesome, that's all I need."
So I got a question though. Like you said, you was into punk and shit, and you played guitar. But how do we get to the point of you realizing you can growl? Because I bet you that's sexy in the bedroom. You get in there and raw. Like, how'd that start? How'd you learn that you can do that?
Feral fucking.
Oh God.
But no, oh wow, how did that start? I think I got introduced to like Slipknot and like heavier kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me exactly what grade. I was somewhere in grade school and like one of my classmates, he was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of this band called Slipknot?" And I was like, "No." So I went home and fired up the old fucking HP tower that was running fucking the freshest version of Windows XP.
Jesus, bro. Windows XP is some high grade shit. I remember when that came out, bro.
Fuck yeah. And so I go home and I fire up fucking the old Red app and I'm on there, I type them in, I'm listening, and I was like, "Oh, this is fucking awesome," you know what I mean? So then I found like Mushroom Head, Mudvayne, and then like through polluting my algorithms with that, like I ended up finding like heavier shit like Cannibal Corpse and like Suicide Silence and a couple other more well-known bands, and like that's what really got me into it. And I was like, "Wow, that's fucking awesome! Like he sounds like a wild beast from hell or something like that. I want to learn how to do that."
Did you get a vocal classes or did you just train yourself through YouTube videos?
I've had one actual class that I've paid for, and I've had like a couple, I guess you could call them lessons with like other vocalists that I know. But like most of that was like really like shooting like how we try to do things like back and forth. All right, well, if this doesn't work, we'll try doing this, or like try moving your tongue like to this place to direct air a different way in your mouth or whatever. Because like there's a lot of weird technique that goes to it too.
Yeah, I could never do the screaming because like I would have to see a vocal coach because I'd do it improperly and I'll fuck up my voice because I've done it before. And I know you're supposed to sing from your diaphragm, but I mean, what you're used to is what you're used to, bro. And I don't want to end up like other people that blew their vocals. So I never really got into that style of music.
That's part of the reason why my voice is the way that it is now is because like through the process of actually learning the right way to scream and shit, like I've fucked my voice up so many times.
Yeah, like I've heard of people they fuck up their voice to the point where they have to have throat surgery. I think Corey Taylor may have had to have. I knew he blew his vocals once.
Yeah, I knew he blew his voice out. The band
Steven Tyler.
Yeah, the band Asking Alexandria, their vocalist now sounds like Marge Simpson because he's didn't know what he was doing for the first 10 years they were a band, and between that and drugs ruined his voice.
Well, what's crazy about Steven Tyler is drugs could be related to his instance, but he was not really that harsh of a singer. But
No.
I guess, I don't know the full story. You'd have to look into it. But from my understanding, he had to have throat surgery because he may have had like a cyst or something on his vocal cords from singing that way for so long and all the drugs and shit. I know similar happened to Chad Kruger of Nickelback. So
Yeah, I heard about that actually.
can we all agree? Like, I know you're part of the metal community, and I'm a big metal fan. I'm a fan of music altogether. I listen to Weird Al, all kinds of crazy shit. Can we all agree? You have what?
Before you finish that sentence, I have a lot of guilty pleasures, and yes, they are on one or two of my playlists.
All right, we'll talk about that. So let's just forget what I was talking about. But actually, what I was going to say is, as the metal community, as all communities of music, can we all agree Nickelback ain't that bad?
Oh, fuck that.
Nickelback ain't that bad.
That is fighting words.
Think of no.
And here's the reason why I say this. Completely 86 and scratch all of their lyrics and listen to just their instrumentals.
Yep.
They got riffs. They got riffs for days.
Also, listen to the non B-side, not the non-hits. Sorry, listen to the B-sides, because Nickelback started off a grunge rock band, the only one from Canada.
Oh shit! What the hell was that old song of theirs? Like Million Miles an Hour or some shit like that.
Yeah, they had their first two albums was grunge rock, and then they went commercial. They also released several metal songs that went under the radar. So you can't blame them for sticking to the radio hits when nobody listens to the good shit they release.
Well, it's what sells, and that's why a lot of people don't respect them, because they're chasing after that money. But I mean, look at it from this aspect. They're doing something that works in a way that's making them mad money, so people's going to give them shit and hate on them for it.
If you're going to give shit to Nickelback, we have to give shit to Metallica.
Here's a band that I personally have beef with, and I'm not even talking about this for clout or anything like this, but fuck these guys. They don't deserve it. Trapped.
Go ahead. Wrapped. Who's Wrapped?
Trapped. The
Trapped. Oh, fuck them guys. I'm not a fan. There's two.
Yeah, those guys.
Him as a person, from what I've seen on Twitter. I've never met him, so I can't really say I got a personal vendetta, because I don't have the energy for personal vendettas. But from what I've seen, I would never associate with him.
No, like that's how that even came to be, is like they was talking mad shit on a buddy of mine's post because he ran sound for a venue that they were supposed to play at, and he's like, I'm going to be on tour that day, and as much as I would love to control how they sound, I ain't doing it.
See, my thought process about Trapped is, and it's nothing against bands that do this, because there's a lot of bands that I do enjoy that do the same thing. But Trapped is one of those bands that, due to ego, I would assume, they think they should be bigger than they actually are when all they have is Headstrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I straight up told their vocalist, because like he came at me sideways on their band's account, and I was like, I hope you realize this looks very professional.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to tell him, like, I don't know what your ordeal is, because all I'm doing is just literally stating facts. But the one major hit single that you had, it's a fucking meme now, 20 years later.
See, there's a lot of bands that I do listen to, though, that have that one hit, but I believe there's other songs that should be bigger. So Trapped might be that, but due to their ego and the way they present themselves, it turns me off from their music.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that way with Kiss. I do not listen to Kiss anymore because their ego. I cannot do it.
Gene Simmons is a douchebag, and so is Paul Stanley.
Gene is more so, from what I've seen, Gene is more of a douche than Paul. But Paul was the guy that made a fan change his shirt into a Kiss shirt, even though he was wearing an Iron Maiden shirt.
Yeah.
Katie and Nelly, I love Metallica. I have nothing against Metallica. I was just stating that if people have issues with Nickelback selling out, which there are people that have issues with Metallica selling out, but I don't know where the hate for Metallica came from. Because their latest 2 albums were very thrash metal. They went back to their roots. So why are people pissed?
Because anything after the Black Album still sucks.
Even though they don't, in my opinion, anyway. Anything Saint Anger. That's the only thing I got a problem with them. Saint Anger and Lulu. And I'm not even saying Saint Anger was a bad album. I'm just saying that the drums should have been better. I don't care if Metallica wants to change genres. I don't care. They could have done a great job. They could have been a great alternative rock band. But the drumming, why are you hitting on fucking trash cans?
I was literally just about to say the good old Saint Anger steel trash can snare sound. Yeah.
I would not be against them re-releasing that album with real drums. I would not. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but on the separate side of the spectrum, and Lulu was a horrible album. I'm not going to defend that garbage at all. Lou Reed is a fucking legend. He deserved better than that. Hi, Larissa. Oh, I don't hate Metallica either, Katie. And yes, Paul Stanley did make somebody change their shirt. They were wearing an Iron Maiden shirt, and Paul's like, don't you realize we took them out on their first tour? Yeah, but who puts on better shows now?
I'd rather watch Maiden live.
I would too. I fell asleep during Kiss.
Seeing Bruce Dickinson's little ass run out there in the red fucking military uniform. I can't remember what the hell it's called off the top of my head, but running out there battling a big fuck. Oh
shit, you froze a little bit, Jesse. There you are. But what's crazy is I've seen Maiden live and I've seen Kiss live. Come at me all you want, Kiss fans. Iron Maiden put on a better show. I did not fall asleep during Maiden. I fell asleep during Kiss. Here's why. Everything you see on video is exactly what the show is. There's nothing different. They have not changed in 50 years. It's all the same. 40 years. Also, Gene Simmons, I was on Gene Simmons' side, and he's boring. Like, Paul was putting on a hell of a show on the other side, but Gene was just standing there, looked like he was even bored. Fuck. I hate to talk shit on legends, but I've seen Alice Cooper multiple times, and he put on a better show.
Leonard Skinner put on a better show.
Are they even still around, bro?
They are. Fun fact, they was my first concert in 2000, like my first big concert in 2011.
Is it still Leonard Skinner, or is it just Leonard now? Is Leonard the only one left? I think Skinner left a long time ago.
I think they got one original member left, because I know their founding guitar player, I think he passed away last year.
He passed away last year. Their lead singer and I think another member died in the plane crash, the famous plane crash.
Ronnie Van Zant, their original singer, which I've been told if I put on a one of like the big brim cowboy hats and some shit kicker bits with a white wife beater shirt, I'd look like him.
You do. You look like a thinner version of him because he wasn't huge, but he was kind of chunkier.
People's told me that, and I was like, thanks, that's cool. Thanks for calling me a fucking redneck.
So I got a question though. We were talking about Metallica, Saint Anger, and all that shit. People tend to forget that Megadeth did the same thing. However, Megadeth's alternative rock album was so much better.
Because I'm sorry, and I'll say it, Dave is a better musician, and not only thinks about shit through the musical aspect, but also thinks about it through the marketing aspect.
Exactly. But the only issue is he can't keep band members.
No. He's a dick.
He is, from what I've heard, but I've never met him. I heard that he's a sweet dude. He's also can be a dick. The only thing I never liked about it was he compared his success to Metallica, and he kept feuding with them.
Because I think one of the main things with that is because like Megadeth was built off of spite.
True. So let's get back into mental health because that's what your band is all about. How'd the name come about? Is that part of the mental health aspect? You're nothing but scars. You got scar tissue.
Kind of like because if you think about it, like with mental health, there's a lot of people like self-harm and shit. So like there's gonna be physical scars. A scar can be something that you fucking try to cover up or whatever, or something that just bothers you. Or look at like veterans as a perfect example, like with PTSD and shit like that, they're mentally scarred.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally a play on mental health, nothing but scars.
That makes a lot of sense, man. And I love the lyricism. When can we expect more music from you?
I can't give any dates for sure yet, but all I
Smart
can
man.
really all I can really say is soon. I kind of fucked myself and jumped the gun with the EP because I was spitting out dates like, oh, here's this and here's this and here's this on this date, and I'm like, I'm not fucking ready.
A word of advice from a friend of mine. People keep asking me when I'm going to release my comedy skits, when I'm going to release my music. Well, he told me that you never know what's going to happen. So don't put a date on nothing until you're 100% ready. Because I was all in for releasing some skits and music by next month. But due to my mental health, due to my computer being shitty, which got a new one coming soon. So it'll be a lot easier to run shit. It's been postponed because I can't make it to the studio all the time and I can't record at home like I originally planned. So don't put dates on shit until it's ready.
And that's one reason why that debut EP, like I'm not really pleased with a lot of the quality, especially with the vocals. It's because I really jumped the gun and like I kind of was like, all right, like let's just hurry up and get everything done because I have a deadline now. So I have a fire under my ass finally.
Right.
But
That's how I am. Do you ever like lose that fire and you just got to take a break? Because that's happened to me with comedy.
all the fucking time, like
it's fucking annoying when like you need to work, but you can't. I lost your audio, bud.
someone's trying to call me.
You're good. But I've done that with comedy, and it's rough when you got a show to do and you're like, fuck, I need to like come up with these jokes. But 9 times out of 10, once you're on stage, it's fine. Oh, did you know this, Jesse?
That's one. What's up?
Sorry, I keep interrupting you, but we have a bit of a lag. Let me bring you down and bring you back up. Okay, that should work. Katie Nelly said that, did you know that PTSD, you actually do have scars on your outer cortex and you get holes in your outer cortex. So the signals that are normally processed by the outer cortex go through the holes and trigger your inner cortex, which is why it freezes your fight or flight. So actually PTSD is brain damage.
Yeah.
Because you can be stressed or put in such bad situations that it does cause brain damage. But what is fun to note, and you're a big cannabis advocate like me, so we can go down that rabbit hole. Cannabis has been known to help alleviate and somewhat cure most cases of PTSD, depending on the strain.
Yeah. I won't say his name or anything out of respect for him or anything. Anyone that follows the page, they'll know who he is because he made a big post and spoke about this publicly. Our ex-guitar player, he struggles with PTSD really bad, and that's one thing that he used to help cope with it and get through his everyday life. Is that he'd smoke copious amounts of cannabis, and I told him, I was like, really, you need to like think about like as well as smoking and the regular therapy that you do, but you need to think about trying to do like other things as well. And like it really bummed me out whenever he quit the band because like I knew that was going to be a big help for him mentally, but like I feel like he just stressed himself out and got cold feet.
See, that's the thing a lot of people don't realize is cannabis is great medicine, but with any medication, you got to be able to do your professional day-to-day life and not let it run your life. Cannabis is amazing. It's an amazing medicine. I'm a big advocate. However, know your limitations. I've known people that were great podcasters, great personalities, but they would get so high they wouldn't do it. Or they weren't shit. And that sucks. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Danielle. Sorry, guys. I'm just now getting to saying hi to everybody. But, like, do you use cannabis for medicine or do you use it recreationally? Because you're allowed saying that now. It's legal in Ohio.
No, honest, I use it for both. More often than not, I use it for medicinal purposes because I don't like taking psych meds or bipolar medications or this, that, or the third, or anything of that nature. I've went through pages upon pages upon pages of different medicines, and none of them worked for me. And not to pull the old snake oil out the bottle, oh, it's a cure-all, but it actually with everything.
All right, what's going on?
Hey, we have a phone call. That's cool.
I'm on a phone. Can you knock me out or something, and I'll come back?
I don't want her personal information out there. So just let me know when you're ready to come up, Pink. Just give me a thumbs up. So, Jesse, does it help you write though? Make you more creative?
Sometimes. And that really also depends on the strain too, because I know that a lot of different terpene profiles and stuff like that, they seem to bring out like more of those creative juices, I guess you'd say.
And we actually are going to get into that more on Pink Sock and all my other networks that I'm doing about the educational aspect of cannabis, because I know a lot about cannabis, but I also like to see how it affects others. There are strains out there, and I'll be honest, I smoke them, I get anxious, I don't do what I need to do because that is not the right medicine for me.
Me personally, I'm a hybrid guy. I prefer my sativas or my sativa dominant hybrids just because because like the stereotype with me, it couch locks me, it makes me lazy, I don't want to do nothing. That's what I need at night whenever I'm trying to go to bed, because I can't, because if not, I'm gonna stay up till 5 a.m. like a fucking crackhead.
You want to know what's crazy about me, bro, is I have PTSD and I also have ADHD, and my PTSD is like anxiety, depression, shit like that. I have to do indicas, bro, or indica dominant hybrids, because due to me already being hyperactive, sativas will put me into a panic attack.
Really?
Yeah, indicas will bring me down, but I can still be productive.
I feel like that's kind of how my wife is, because she'll get like really bad panic attacks and anxiety attacks whenever she smokes certain strains. And I've noticed typically it's the ones that I would pick out, like the more like hardcore sativa dominants. That's like the intense euphoric head high, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with this? This is true. RSO has been known to cure cancer. Do you know what RSO is?
Rick Simpson oil, yes. I won't say his name, but I mean anyone that knows me personally. My dad, he's battling cancer right now, and I've actually considered trying to get my hands on some for him. Although
you can.
We'll talk personally about that.
Get him a medical card. Dispensary, sell it.
He's a veteran and he lives in West Virginia, and he goes to the VA, and I told him, I was like, don't fucking worry about that. Go through a fucking clinic and get your goddamn card. Don't worry about your weapons, because that's been ruled as unconstitutional to forfeit your guns.
Yeah.
So I told him, hear me out. Like, I'm not going to be able to at this moment, but like if he needs to in the long run, I'll help him get his card.
And also think about it this way, though. A lot of people are like, my guns, my guns, my guns. The fact is, this does not affect the guns that you currently own.
It's the purchasing of new firearms.
Yes, it does not affect what you currently have.
That also being said, it does not affect second-hand purchases.
Exactly, and it also does not affect open carry. As long as you're not openly carrying with cannabis on you. You have to have them separate. Which is kind of stupid because you can open carry with alcohol on you. What the fuck?
Exactly. You showed me an actual statistic of more deaths under the influence, well, more firearm deaths under the influence of cannabis over alcohol.
Okay, so for your dad's regimen, to get back into your dad's cancer journey, if you'd like, we can talk more. With the RSO treatments, from my understanding, you go online, you could find it. You start off with like a rice grain amount 3 times a day on a cracker. And then about a week later, you double it. And then you double it. And you double it until you're taking a gram a day. So it would damn near be a whole syringe.
Right.
For a monthly regimen, it's about $775 a month. For your dad, I would do it for about, I believe, 2 to 3 months, and then slowly wean himself back off of it, like do a little amount, and then get back to, I think, the rice grain amount, and just keep him on that regimen.
And there's a reason why I've been considering that with him, is because, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, he smokes cannabis and stuff.
It's not the same.
Yeah, that, and he's got throat cancer, so the smoke's not going to be good for him regardless.
Switch him to, and I'm not telling you what to do medically, I'm not a doctor or whatever, but from what I've read, what's easier on your lungs, and I'm not I'm not sponsored by these people. I should be. Fuck, I tell everybody about them. Get him a dry herb vaporizer. Dry herb vaporizers do not have the carcinogens that it comes with lighting it. Now, some people are against dry herb vapes, but the ones I get, there's no carcinogens because it's like a convection oven. It cooks the bud, it doesn't burn it. There's some like a cigarette lighter. Those ones still have carcinogens. But these ones is like a little convection oven, and you save the vaped bud and you can use it as edibles or whatever. And if he still wants to smoke it, dry herb vaping is the healthiest way because you get the good chemicals and not the bad chemicals. You're just activating the bud.
Right.
He's lighting it with a lighter, which might, I'm not saying it causes throat cancer, but it's not helping.
Right. It could definitely promote the growth of new cells with the carcinogens English, the carcinogens that's in it.
Yeah, like his body's already damaged, so you don't want to further damage it. You want to reverse. And also, I know a lot of people are not wanting to do this, especially when they're in that position. But I've heard that curing cancer could also be down to limiting or eliminating for about 3 months your red meat intake and your sugar intake.
I mean, he's kind of got to do that anyway because he's on a soft food diet because he can't like really swallow anything harder or anything.
Yeah, because allegedly cancer survives by eating sugar and red meat, like some kind of fat that is found in red meat. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. I've heard of people cutting it out and they did the RSO treatments and they were cured, but it's not a cure-all. Some people aren't cured by it.
Right. And that's like that ketogenic diet and stuff.
Yeah.
How that's usually recommended for people with cancer.
Yeah.
That's
why though, because keto is the limit of carbohydrates, which is sugar.
Well, that's like my father-in-law. They had him on the keto diet for his cancer, and it almost fucking killed him. His body wasn't retaining any water. He wasn't holding any sugar whatsoever.
Hello? Okay. It was him. All right. You're back, buddy. I was having internet issues. But what were you saying?
What was the last thing you heard?
The last thing I heard was myself. And then the whole thing froze. So I forget what we were even talking. I said I'm high and just rambling, but we were talking about your dad's cancer.
Yeah, okay. Fuck.
Oh shit, we're doing great over at Pink Sock Podcast. We're dropping shit. As long as it wasn't the soap, we're good, bro. I heard that's an awful thing.
I wasn't prepared. I usually have more of a fashionable way to prop my phone up, but I woke up late as shit.
I'm actually running on a laptop that's half-assing it right now until I get a new one in. So I'm just glad to have Pink Sock back because we took a little hiatus. And here we are. We are back. We're going to be on WTHC radio and on my own shit and promoting everywhere and cross promoting. And it's crazy, dude. Do you plan on implementing comedians into your shows?
I'd like to, because that's honestly one thing that's been done years ago in the entertainment industry. I feel like that needs to be done still, as because not only does it it helps cross platforms, but it also helps network along the way. Because
exactly.
Here's a perfect example. All right, well, say this band's going on tour and they're going to drag this comedian with them for before their sets, blah blah blah, or whatever. Well, not only is that cross promotion, but that's also it's a great networking aspect for all parties, because say the venue owner, he could do comedy nights or whatever, or you know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen with the connections you meet.
Exactly, man. Speaking of connections, Leon Kraft is a former guest on here, and he's incredible. Go check him out. Keto is a diet that's very interesting. We was talking about keto.
Yeah, okay. I remember where I was now. My father-in-law, he had cancer. He was put on the keto diet, and he wasn't retaining any water or sugars or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And his sugar bottomed, like it completely bottomed out. And he was like severely dehydrated. They had to life flight him to the VA hospital, all this, that, and the third. And come to find out, it was caused by the keto diet.
Yeah, if you don't do the keto diet properly, it fucks with you bad. You need some carbs. The keto diet is only recommended for a part-time cure for shit.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be a diet you're always on. Because you need some carbs, whether it's from fruit or whatever. The whole cancer diet, from what I read, is you're supposed to limit your sugars or cut them out altogether, and red meat, but not all the time. Once you're cancer free, you can implement fruits. Just don't do refined sugars. That's where your body gets confused, is by the artificial shit. Because once your body's poisoned, it can't retain any of it.
Yeah. I'm not a fucking doctor, obviously. I'm a burnout musician.
Why do you think doctors call it a practice? They're not either.
At least like my thought process on that would be fucking knowing how cancer cells multiply. Fucking soon as your body would start pumping anything like that into its system that's going to fuel those, they'd flare right back up again anyway.
Yeah, for me, though, I don't think chemo and radiation is the way to go. And people are like, yeah, I'd rather do that than cannabis because cannabis isn't guaranteed. Neither is chemo and radiation. It actually does more damage than good in most cases.
Yeah,
because you're
but
all the cells.
At least doing something that's natural.
Yeah, because what chemo and radiation is doing is weakening all your cells and preventing yourself from fighting. Now, in my thought process is the human body has been proven to heal itself. We're just too toxic of an environment. We eat horrible foods. We do all that. If we start doing what we're supposed to do when we're sick, our body will eventually be able to fight again. Because everything is reversible. Sorry.
Good. I can't think of the countries off the top of my head, but like even Joe Rogan podcast was talking about this. Like there's different countries where they still have people that live to like 120, and like they live off of fucking natural rice that they handpicked, or fucking meat of a fucking elk or a deer or a moose or whatever the fuck they just went out and killed with a bow and arrow and shit.
The longest life expectancy is Crete, Greece, where all of the food comes straight from farms and shit. Their water is clear. They literally stated in multiple interviews the reason why they live so long, yet they eat a lot of grains and they eat cheese and all that, is because in America, we destroy the germ and create white bread. Over there, they have it the natural way that it's been for all these years. So they also don't have cows. All their animals are goat's milk, sheep's milk, sheep Greek yogurt, all that shit. Authentic food. And that's why their cancer rate is so low. Like, it's fucking crazy. And yes, RSO has better results than chemo and radiation. Doctors just make you afraid to do any alternative medicine. So they're like, oh, you should just do chemo and radiation or else you'll die in 3 months. Bullshit. Are you familiar with Darren Miller?
That name sounds really familiar.
He is Mike Tyson's medical marijuana doctor, I do believe is what he does. I know for a fact that he cured his own cancer. And I'm pretty sure he's also Mike Tyson's medical marijuana doctor. He cured his own cancer, I believe, twice with RSO. He was told the first time that he had, I think, 3 months to live. And they told him chemo and radiation will lengthen your time to maybe 6 months. And it's not my story to tell, but long story short, he pretty much said, fuck you and your radiation. He went to California, got RSO oil, because at that time you couldn't get it here, and he cured his own cancer.
Well, like the thing with like the chemo and the radiation and shit like that, like one thing that you really notice, like people don't really start to go downhill until they start to get that.
Yep. My father, I am so glad he's still alive today. He had throat cancer, stage 4. He was given, like, if he didn't get it removed, like a week to live or a month to live or whatever. If he would have caught it sooner, I think, and he wouldn't have done this, but if he would have done RSO treatments, he would be in better shape now than he was when he did chemo and radiation, because this man started having heart problems. He's seizures, like has all kinds of these problems now that he never had before. And yeah, you can say it was the cancer, but I don't think it was. I think it was the treatments that we used that caused it, man.
Right.
I didn't think having you on, we'd be talking about this, but fuck it.
I mean, hey, fucking, I'm an open book. I'll talk about just about anything.
Where can we find you and Nothing But Scars? Shout out your links, bro.
Selfless self plug here. Fucking go to our band page on Facebook, Nothing But Scars. We got our Linktree link there. It's got our Apple Music, our iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, Pandora, all that shit. It's got a merch link. It's been kind of dead. We haven't dropped anything new in a while. We've been waiting until we have some new content to put out as well. Kind of pair it together, make it special. We're gonna run some promo codes when we do that.
See, I can't wait, bro, because you guys fucking kill it. But I think with the addition of Matt and the bandmates that you guys have a bright future. And you know, with mental health and shit, I was gonna wait
with Matt because of the mental health aspect and some of the other topics we're going to be speaking of because of how outspoken he is.
Yeah, and he also, with his past, he overcame drug addiction and all of that, which I'm very proud of him for. So I can only imagine.
Because I've done the same thing, and that's definitely a fucking feat.
But I couldn't imagine. I've dealt with addiction, but it's never been drugs. Masturbation. No. My addiction is something that you wouldn't consider to be like an addiction or drugs or whatever, but it is a legit problem and a legit addiction that we need to focus more on. I was addicted to sugar, man. I would eat like fucking 8 packs of donuts a day and shit. And I'm like, this is not good for my health at all. So I quit.
I can't say nothing.
That's a real problem, man. Sugar is so goddamn addicting. I actually cut out.
If I don't have at least in the morning, nobody fucking talks to me. I'm a dick.
I'm that way with coffee anymore. Like I switched sugar for caffeine, which isn't good either, but it's better. But when I cut out sugar, I notice a difference. I feel better. And it's hard because your body's like, I need it. But yeah, my addiction was that.
You're borderline especially like if you don't have the sugar or the caffeine.
Yeah. It's a different addiction, but it's still an addiction nonetheless. But Matt's also working with calligraphy, which is interesting. He's working with a death metal group and he's doing hip hop, which is a great fucking thing for that. Do you plan on working with calligraphy? That'd be cool, having like a death metal hip hop.
That I would not be opposed to that whatsoever, long as they would have me. And I don't want to stick to just labeling it as just death metal, because with some of the new stuff we're doing, like we're going to incorporate regular singing, like we're going to incorporate like nuances from other genres and stuff in there, because like our current guitar player, he comes from a very interesting musical background. Our drummer, he's a one of a kind. I'll just put it like that. Don't know if he's watching. If he is, shout out Kurt.
We love you, Kurt.
I think my guitar player is supposed to be watching. I don't know if he is, but if he is, I love you, you tall, lengthy bastard. I'll call you after this is over.
If he ain't listening, shame on you, bro. Shame on you.
You're should alive. Be. Broke my heart, man. but no, fucking yeah. That's it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I don't want to stick to naming it with specific genres, because we're gonna try to break those the laws of labeling music as one thing or another.
Right? No, I don't blame you, dude. Fuck that whole thing, dude. Because I have to, because people are like, "What kind of band is this?" And I can't like tell them what kind of band it is without at least saying that, oh, they're like a mixture of this and that. But I hate when people say, like, back to the whole Metallica Megadeth thing, people say that, like, well, this band changed. I don't mind change. I just don't like when they change and it's not good to my own ears. It's a personal preference.
One thing that drives me up the wall, and like you'll see this a lot with mainstream bands, they'll go through something where, like, say their fucking frontman, the face of the goddamn band, their lead singer, he's addicted to drugs, he gets clean, doesn't see eye to eye with the rest of the band or whatever, and
leaves,
leaving, and then they get someone else to replace him, and it's like the whole group takes a completely 180 into a different direction. And
yeah, it's not the same band.
Yeah, what drives me crazy with that is that they'll try to identify as the same band and use the old stuff like that, whenever in all reality the whole meaning of everything has changed at that point.
True, I see that point, but I also bring up another point. There's some bands where the main songwriter isn't the singer, but the singer is the singer. I don't like when bands, and there's albums I like out there that does this, but like when bands have a new singer, but they have the old sound and the singer tries to imitate the original singer's voice. Like, for instance, Judas Priest. I love those two albums with Tim Ripper Owens, but he tries to mimic. And Pink left the backstage area. If she wants to come back on, she's more than welcome to. I just wasn't sure if she wanted back on or not, because she was on a phone call. But anyway, like, it's a double-edged sword, because wouldn't you rather the band go on and evolve? But it's...
Yes, but also to that same argument, that's also what I feel like rebranding, but still not giving that ode and the nod and respect to where you originally came from with that. You know what I mean?
True, but what would the difference be if they evolved with the same singer and just kept the name? There'd be really no difference.
Well, you never know, because like say like I'll use us like as an example, like freak hypothetical or some shit, fucking 10 years down the road, freak accident, I fucking die.
Don't say that. You know, you don't want to put that on yourself.
Freak hypothetical. But no, like some crazy shit like that would happen. I would not be opposed to Matt stepping in, because like he knows my image, everybody else knows my image and what I wanted out of this. And
that's kind of like Cannibal Corpse in a way.
Yeah, how they replaced Chris Barnes, but they was like, yeah, let's not do over sexualized to women and like grapey lyrics.
Yeah, and then it was a weird image for that band, because their guitarist got arrested for violent shit, which was but yeah, like bands out there though, bro, there's a lot of bands that have a revolving door of lineups. And some of them, I don't know why. Some of them I'm against the revolving door lineups. Others I'm for. Like Guar.
One thing that I like seeing a lot too is like bands that kind of work like almost like a super group, and like how every album they'll have like different instrumentalists come in and on the album. And like the songs like an example like Pat O'Brien from Cannibal Corpse, or like fucking John Petrucci or Steve Vai, like all on different songs and shit like that, because each of those different songs have like they have their specific meaning, but they have a whole different atmosphere that's incorporated into it. And I like seeing shit like that.
That's similar to the Dead Daisies. They've had lineup, tons of different lineup changes, and every album has been unique, but like really good. I don't know if you're familiar with the Daisies or not.
Yeah.
They right now they have John Corabi back on vocals. I don't know if you're familiar with who John Corabi is.
Yes,
but he was the singer of Motley Crue that doesn't sound like a fucking chipmunk. He's that guy.
I'll be.
No, like I don't. I fucking seen Motley Crue twice on that final tour they did. You know, the final tour, and then they toured again without any original members, but maybe two. But that tour was Alice Cooper opened. And I should have left after Coop because Crue was not good, bro.
That and I'm sorry, Alice Cooper before Motley Crue just isn't fair because of his stage show.
Oh yeah, he blew them out of the water both fucking times. And I hate to sound negative towards legendary bands, but I am, because it's not that they got old and they're not able to perform like they used to. It's that they don't seem to care about the quality of the music.
Like that it's been confirmed that Nikki Sixx doesn't have anything mic'd up or hooked up, actually.
Nope, it's all backing. And Vince Neil doesn't even try to sing the right words. The band is literally out there because they're Motley Crue. They replaced fucking Mick Mars, for God's sakes.
Which I can say they replaced him with a reputable guitar player, but it's not Mick. They're not.
It's not
the Crue, especially if you like. The whole point of getting back together like that was, all right, yeah, unity, we're a fucking band.
Yeah, we're corporate. They're corporate now.
Yeah.
Like, and by the way, my claim to fame, Nikki Sixx has me blocked on Twitter. I'm not sure why. Don't come at me and ask me why. Ask him. He's the one that did it. But I have no idea, bro. But fuck it. It must have been my...
He blocked on Facebook.
Trapped. Yeah. Well, I understand why. I think Nikki Sixx might have blocked me because I put on Twitter that he would have been better off bringing back 6 a.m. Well, I'm not. It's true. Did you know that
the music?
Yeah, the Saints of Los Angeles. Remember that album, Saints of Los Angeles? That was a 6 a.m. album.
Yes, it was.
If you look at the songwriting credits, DJ Ashba, James Michael, Mick Mars, Nikki Sixx, Tommy Lee. So you just have a Motley Crue album with Tommy Lee added, pretty much, and Mick Mars. Vince didn't write anything on that album, I don't think. I don't think he ever does.
Or you mean a Sex Pistols album with Tommy Lee?
Dude, I would love for the Sex Pistols to get back together. But I don't know. They're old, though.
Yeah. Compare anything by Sex Pistols to that album. I'm sorry.
Did you ever listen to the album Saints of Los Angeles, or was that just one of those albums that you just heard a few songs off of?
I actually used to own it whenever I had a fucking iPod years ago.
That is probably the best Motley Crue album since the self-titled album with John Corabi on vocals.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first album they released after that. No, they did Generation Swine, which it was basically a John Corabi era album, but with Vince Neil singing.
One of my favorite fun facts about Motley Crue is that fucking one of their most reputable songs isn't even their song. It was a cover from one of their members' old band.
What song?
Smoking in the Boys' Room.
What band was that from?
I believe it was fucking. If somebody knows this and I am wrong, please feel free to fucking correct me. But I believe it was by London, one of Nikki Sixx's old bands.
It may have been, bro. I was gonna Google it, but my mouse is being an asshole right now. My computer does weird shit, bro. Like it highlights shit, it fucking it slides shit. I don't know what the fuck. If anybody's technologically advanced, get me a new mouse.
Either way, I know it was one of Nicky's old bands. I think they were called London.
London is one of his bands. I know that for a fact. But I want to know which band it was. It was originally recorded by Brownsville Station in 1973 on their album Yeah. So it came out in 1973 by Brownsville Station, whatever Brownsville Station is. Brownsville Station wasn't even a Nikki Sixx band, bro.
So that they covered that song and then they covered their rendition of it, basically.
Yes, pretty much. Because the song was originally by Brownsville Station. The band is still around to this day. The album was released under Warner Brothers. It was written by Michael Lutt, who is the singer of that band. So it wasn't even a Nikki Sixx song.
So that's like a rabbit hole with that one, kind of like fucking that song "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Yeah, bro. By the way, Baha Men, shout out to them. I have, as I stated before, ADHD, and yes, Katie, my mouse is sticky. I'm not sure why, but it's doing weird shit. That's why my projects ain't being released, because my fucking laptop. But Baha Men are one of those bands, bro. With my ADHD, I'll go down a music rabbit hole. Like I'll hear a one-hit wonder on the radio, and next thing I know, I'm listening to their third album after listening to their first two all the way through. And Baha Men have some great tracks.
Yeah.
Another band that's like that is ever listen to Flock of Seagulls or Men Without Hats?
I fucking love Men Without Hats.
Me too. Like Pop Goes the World was the shit, bro. My mama played guitar, and yeah, I fucking love it. I love Men Without Hats. We can dance if we want to. We can leave your friends behind. Did you know they're still around?
Fucking really?
Yeah, they just released an album, I guess, a few years ago. It was fucking cool as fuck, dude. Another, like a lot of one-hit wonder bands, dude. So what are your guilty pleasures? We talked about that earlier. We kind of got off track. What are your guilty pleasures?
Musically, I love classical music.
Like Beethoven and shit?
Yes.
He's the original metal.
Arguably my all-time favorite piece of music ever wrote is Moonlight Sonata, the fifth movement. Yeah, the fifth movement by Ludwig von Beethoven.
Fuck yeah.
It's a fucking masterpiece, gives me chills every time. There's also a video of this girl, she was like 13 years old playing that shit on a guitar, and it was like, fuck you, I quit. I don't ever want to play again.
Beethoven was the original metal star, dude. Like his music was heavy.
But shit like that. I really like rap too, but I'm very, very, very peculiar with it. Like obviously I like fucking calligraphy. Shout out Jag, shout out All Black. Love y'all.
Shout out everyone. Manny, Means, all of them, dude. They're all fucking incredible artists.
Yeah, but fucking love Tech Nine, Chris Calico, fucking oh hell, Ritz.
See, I love classical music and I love hip hop. And could you imagine back when Beethoven came out, though? Some old man just sitting there. Ah, yes, hey, this Beethoven is the devil. There's no words.
Then you have me making fucking zombie noises and shit.
True. There was actually I read somewhere that those Viking like hymns that like they sing those songs on them Viking ships. Allegedly, Vikings had death metal growls when they sung.
What they used is known as throat singing or tube and throat singing, which
So like fucking Popeye.
yeah, well, like which I can actually do, and little known fact about me, I can do, and I can do really, really fucking well, and I'm proud of it.
Let's do it. Go ahead. Man, stop! You're getting me hard. Like
Yeah.
you know, I get so excited, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's cool as fuck. I love it.
Why don't
There's
you
actually-
implement that into your music?
I want to, but it's just situational.
Like,
It-
could you imagine that breakdown?
Oh no, it wouldn't be a breakdown. Like it'd be the intro to the song. It'd be like something primal feeling. The breakdown would be like the breakdown would be get naked and fight everyone. But
Get naked and fight everyone, like that. I mean,
yeah.
I would never get naked in a mosh pit. I'm not saying I wouldn't get naked at a concert, but I wouldn't get naked in a mosh pit because I don't know. It makes that little bugger an easy target. You know what I mean? Like you could just fucking nail it.
Good old dick twist.
Give him the dick to no, because Gigi Allen, as much as I love punk rock, getting naked and fighting is not my thing. It might be Gigi Allen's. He like getting naked and covered in feces, but are you familiar with that artist, Gigi Allen and the Murder Junkies? Yeah, don't do that. don't get naked and shitty in the pit, bro.
But a buddy of mine actually, I was in a band with. Shout out Robert from fucking Design the Curse and Murder Ring.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, nah, fucking. We used to joke around about shit like that all the fucking time.
What would you do if you was at a show and you're performing and some naked, shit covered man was in the crowd? Like, you know he means business.
I don't fucking know. I'm staying away from him though.
Is that a form of terrorism? Is that
There ain't too many people I'd try not to have any type of engagement with, but that is one. Like
that's that guy, man. Naked, shit covered man. That's kind of like that grease covered dude from Family Guy, but worse.
Deaf guy.
Yeah, he was deaf. That's interesting.
Angry shit guy.
So Jesse, the time is getting near for the end, but we need to bring you back on for a part 2. We had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier, which I apologize for, but we got it under control. So where can we find you again?
Facebook, my personal Facebook, Jesse Odinson Morris. My TikTok and Instagram's got the same. Both of them's got the same handle. Pagan.pride420.
Damn. So you are Viking.
By lineage too, Norwegian, Germanic, Scottish, Welsh, Indo-European, American.
I have a friend of mine, Jesse, and you're gonna laugh at this because I know you have a sense of humor that I do. And no offense to anyone, this is just my comedy shining through. A friend of mine decided to do an ancestry test. And he was wanting to find out what percentage of German he is. And when he got the results back, he sent them to me. I laughed because he wasn't German. He was like 20% Jewish. He was like 30% Norwegian, which that's what made me laugh. Because for his birthday or Christmas or whatever I decide, I'm going to have him custom made a yarmulke with horns. Like it's going to look like a little fucking a little Viking hat. Because he's my little Jewish Viking.
I love it.
He was so mad.
No. Yeah, fucking Bjorn Ragnarstein.
Bjorn Ragnarstein. That's his name. Have that written on the hat.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny, man. I fucking thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Actually, ironically enough, fucking to help break some of the stigma, how a lot of people from that descent and belief and walk of life are actually racist. If you do a lot of digging, a lot of them were actually dark skinned. Because I got curious one day, and whenever I was tracing my lineage and shit, the origin of my last name Morris, it stems from Morris' son, which kid that I went to school with, his name's shout out to him actually because he's my cousin. Come to find out, Savon Morrison, he's African American. Well,
oh, nice.
Through tracing of my last name, there is still relation to the Morrison side, and that's what the last name Morris stems from. But we dropped the son through generations and this, that, the other, blah blah blah, like a lot of last names do, which how you get branches of the same last name.
So don't get any ideas though, Jesse. I know you're like half black or whatever, but just don't say the N-word. That's still a no. I know what you're trying to do. Just
I've been given a pass by many people and I don't use it. No.
I've been given the pass too, man, but I don't feel
like Jag trying to get you and Coop in the fucking studio when no one's watching. Hey, come on, say it.
No, because I feel weird saying because my ancestry, man, like that meant something different. That wasn't like my friend back in the, like I don't want to come across that way. I'm not racist. I just have flare ups sometimes in church. Like I just I'm just kidding. I
love you.
I love you too. I'm not. No, it's just. I don't know.
No, the origin of my last name came from dark skin or son of dark complexion.
Damn, dude. That's your new nickname from me. What is up, my son of dark complexion? What is that? What is my dark-skinned brother?
If fucking Jag smacks you, or any of them smack you.
What is up, my dark brother?
You cry because it probably won't be on video, but I would love to see.
What's like, could you imagine?
Use it, but you chose this route. You made your bed.
Could you imagine us at a show just confusing people? What is up, my dark-skinned brother? And you're not even, no. I actually, funny story, you saw one of my comedy shows somewhat recent, and I do have another one coming up in July if you want to come out, or is it June? I fucking forget. I think it's July 24th or June 24th. It's one of those.
Hey, but I can't remember. I'm a burnout.
I'm a burnout too. I have it written down here though. Hold on. I'm a burnout, but I write shit down because I'm smart like that.
Oh yeah. Speaking of shameless self-plug again.
Go ahead.
If y'all want to see me, Coop, and the rest of NBS and Robert's weird ass from Design the Curse, come on out March 16th, Glendale Fire Hall.
Dude, that's fucking sexy. Loose Bean, I did a song with him.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, he's a great dude. We did I was high and coming up with ideas, and me and local DJs, a couple of them, I was just talking shit on their names and just saying funny shit about their names, and they turned them into songs. Like I did one with Spot. We did Spot Remover. Do you have an annoying DJ? Get some Spot Remover. And then another one was Loose Beans was I Can't Believe It's Not Coffee. It's a DJ, not a coffee. Now, if your woman's bean is loose, they have Kegel exercises.
Get
I never
one of Rose suction toys.
I never understood, and I'm on women's side with this one. I never understood how men can't find the clitoris. All right. I've never understood. It's in the same spot. It's right there. It's that little beanie thing. I don't think men care. Could you imagine if a woman said, I don't know where the dick's at? Like,
No, like every guy that cannot find it, like I have the automatic assumption that they were a butt baby.
I was born
They don't
8
even
and a half.
know I'm then.
Bro, I came out of my mom's belly button. There used to be a joke when we was in school where they're like, you ain't had pussy since pussy had you. And I'd reply with, joke's on you. Pussy ain't even had me. Because I was born C-section, dude. I came right out my mom's belly button.
I was C-section baby too. I was fat.
I was an anal baby. That's why I'm so shitty. That's why I'm an asshole. But like, I don't know, bro. I love digging through some crazy topics, controversial shit, and I love doing all that. And it's fucking fun. I know your humor, bro. You're over here. You're telling people you're half black and you're a dark skinned brother, but don't. You heard it from Jesse. I'm just quoting the man. I don't know what he's.
I can't with you.
What is up, my brother? It's. But I did that comedy show, and I have a white sheet in the back of my car for like projection screens. But I feel extremely Caucasian driving around with it. Like, I feel very white.
Gets pulled over and let go by the cops. All right, you're one of us.
Yeah, like, I'll see you at the meeting. Why did they choose white, though? You can get stains on that. They weren't smart. Like, I don't know. But Jesse...
Be like a bad Tool song, Blood, Shit, and Cum on my hands.
Blood, Shit, and Cum on My Hands is actually the name of my first album. No, I'm just kidding. We have skits and shit we're working on. We'd love to get you on guitar. I mean, I'm working with all kinds of shit, man. Katie says she knows why my mouse is sticky. I'm fiddling with the sticky key. So, Jesse, go ahead and shout out your band one more time before we hit the road. And I would love to have you back on very soon. Next week, we have a guest for next week, because next week we have the lovely and talented Gears on. They are a rock group, metal group. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Gears or not, but they are an up-and-coming band. I've listened to them a lot over the last few years, and I'm glad to finally sit down and talk to them. I believe I talked to them before. I've had so many guests on the show. I may have. But I talked to them soon. It is next week, February 3rd, noon Eastern Standard Time. It is Jimmy Wooten of Gears. So go ahead and shout out your stuff, and then we are going to hit the road.
All right, go check us out. Nothing But Scars. We're a bunch of idiots who make serious music. Like I said, show March 16th. If anyone's local, come check us out. If not, hit up the Facebook page. Got our link tree on there. Mike.
Man, it was awesome talking to you. I love chatting with you. And let me check, because I think I got March 16th off. You said 16th? I'll be there.
You better.
I'll be there. I'll be naked. I mean, I'll be that guy in the crowd. But I love you, Jesse. It was nice chatting with you, my brother. Much love. And as always, guys, stay medicated, stay levitated, stay educated, and stay wise. Love you all. Live long. rock hard.
Love you.
Love you, man.